Okay guys, so right now, this is the art museum book, or, well, it's called the art museum. I'm just learning about the different, ages in history, because I'm trying to get an idea of what the hell they frickin' wore. I'm like, what are you wearing? Normally they're freaking naked, like everyone's naked. I'm like, when does it stop? And it doesn't. Everyone's always naked, like. There's so many galleries and collections and like, holy crap. These are exhibits from all over the world, like famous art exhibits from all over the world. So like, they're the real deal when it comes to art exhibits, but like, if you go to the back of the book, from the newest, like most recent art, there's no fashion at all. Like, they just absolutely gave up on fashion. And if there is, it's like what? It's like nothing. Like, yo, we have to fix this. I'm serious. 20th century British, yeah. It's all about land and everything. Like, I'm glad people, like, got into land. Like, I'm glad, like, yeah, art since the mid-20th century. I'm glad everyone's, like, into the land and, like, nature and stuff. But, yo, like, what about fashion? What happened? Spiderweb? People are more fucking worried about spider webs? Fashion has so much power. Like, I don't know. It's like once, like, I feel like once people, like, once technology hit, everyone really went downhill with the art. Everyone just started copying one another, I think. The dramatic shifts in global political and economic power that occurred after the end of the Second World War had a tremendous impact on the art of time and continue to affect the world. Yeah, that's what I didn't even read that, and I just said that. Continue to affect the art world in the 20th century. Radical experimentation in forms in media, yeah. The art status of art within a global consumer society, yeah, all bullshit. A burgeoning ongoing environmental awareness, cultural pluralism, and political consciousness are all reflected in the art of the last 60 years. So bullshit. Oh my god. Fuck this. We're creating our own art. Let's fucking go. I'm done. I'm done. We're done. Right, Bubba? We're done. We're going to create our own art. Who's coming? Let's go. Okay, so what I have been told, I'm just kidding. What I've learned is that really fashion from over the course of time was a lot based on what materials they had back then, what materials were thought of as important for status of kings and queens, expensive. The color purple was the royal color because it was almost impossible to make purple. It was a very unique color back then, so if you wore purple, you were royal, you were rich, you were extremely royal, extremely rich. If you wore all this extra hat, all these extra things on your body, see how he has a hat? You're important. You have a higher... The most royals always wearing extra because they absolutely can, and that's their right. That's what it came down to. They had more than others. Others sacrificed for them, and that's in the form of materials as well. And then art became extremely valuable because that's what people were making for the royals. Most royal families had a lot of art in their house. The artists would stay with the royal families and just create for them. Because art was considered a luxury. So metal, silver, gold, they would start making well, these are plates, art out of, and these are the things that lasted so long because they were made out of these expensive, good materials, and we still have these things today. And a lot of this art was held in the royal houses, passed down from generation to generation. They kept art in the family because it was always royal. It was always worth a lot of money. It was always not even just the money, worth a lot of like positive, like influential energy. That's why art is still around after all this time, because the energy stayed alive, especially certain pieces. It became not only important to the families, but everybody, the whole world. It meant something too because of the energy that it took to make it, because of the materials that it took to make. What it meant to people. And with art comes history right away. History is art. The only way that history has lived this long is through the art. Because words are powerful, yeah, but at the end of the day, the truth of the matter, the truth that can be seen is art. Art holds a power nothing else can. Because it's not words. Words can get skewed. Words can be lied about. The only thing that's the truth is really art. Words can be art too, but So as time went on, and time went on, this is Greece. As time went on and time went on, the materials started getting, I want to say lesser in value, but they probably still cost just as much because of the artwork. The materials started getting lesser in value, but the detail of the art and what was in the art, these photos, the statues, the detail got more. But the quality of the material got lesser and lesser. And that's because we only have so much material on this earth. And it takes a long time for the earth and the whole natural system of life to regenerate certain materials. That's why gold and real silver and certain jewels are very rare and expensive, because of the fact that there was only so much of that on the earth, and there is only so much of that on the earth. And if we use it all the time, and in one part of life, in one part of history, they used it all the time, then it wasn't there for the next part of life. There was barely any of it. People fought for it because it was valuable, and there was none of it left. So fighting in war over materials that only the royals had, that only certain people had, because it was their right, because it was passed down through their bloodline. Pretty sure that's nickel. And then people became the main focus of art, because see, this is built out of granite and stone. They started making things out of like the earth, granite and stone, yeah. So art became scenes in time. A little bit of imagination here. Scenes in time. Certain people fighting, music, a couple in bed. That's what became valuable. This material is nowhere worth the amount of money. Let me see. That these are. That this is nowhere even close. This is way better material quality. Way more expensive. Way more expensive. way more expensive. Copper. This is imitation gold. That's not even gold. Then they try to mimic what gold actually looked like, because they were so rare and so expensive. See the detail? All these people are dressed the same. Their hair is the same, literally. Everything became about war. The war on goods, always. Look. There's so many men in that picture and there's only one basket of food. Look it. There's a pile of goods there and he's fat as shit with a cup in his hand and all these people are fighting for it. They're even lifting him up, trying to get up there. They're begging. And he's fat as shit eating all the food. The reason why I think art is important because it teaches you what the heck was going on in the past. Like, how did we get here? Seriously. We got here through history. We got here through the stories of history. Through the art of history. History is an art. History can be skewed. One person who was at a certain event in history could have looked at it so differently than the person who wrote the book on that history event. If you read two books on the same history event, they could be literally polar opposite. See how complicated these started to get? They started to look at detail. They started to work on detail. You can even tell that this man's is singing. He has a stick. He has all these things. Instead of fighting for goods, they went inside and worked on their bodies. See his strength on the inside? You can tell he was strong. This man collected goods, you can tell. He has so many goods on him. And this woman went inside of herself. That's what I appreciate about the culture, like Buddhism, and they were finding inner peace while the rest of the world was fighting for belongings. The funny thing about the word belongings is it has the word belong in it. When you're fighting for a belonging, you feel like you don't belong anywhere. You're trying to find where you belong. But I'll tell you right now, material things don't show you where you belong. They only show you where other people were. See? You'll never belong where this mom and her baby are. You'll never be them. You'll never belong in this place. So what the fuck is the point of all this? What the fuck is the point of all this? Why? Look at how intricate that is. Like, that's crazy. You know how long that took to do? All that detail? Holy shit. Look at all that. You know how long that took to do? You know how much willpower that took to do? Holy shit. That's insane, yo. That's insane. Islamic art. That's what it is. And every culture has their own art, too. This is medieval Europe. That's, patterns, like designs. Just look at how intricate that is. This is made from sandstone. See how, like, this is the art of the early medieval scribe. Let's see. Gems became a popular thing too. Animals. I think that art, like, has a power that words will never have. Like, when I can't understand how I feel, this is the genealogy of Christ. Art holds a power that, like, words, I don't know, words don't. And then they started drawing on paper with ink instead of sculpting. Holy shit. That's so detailed. See how they started like, and it's always been this way, but like they started, why don't, it's so weird because in art it's like always this one person who's like the center of everything else. Always one person. And then fighting. This is a tapestry, so this is sewing. France. I read this, there's this page in this book that it said that if they're, and then they started doing on walls. The color is sick though. Stained glass, pictures in light. Yeah, that's sick though. Stained glass, I wonder how, whoa. This is Italy. It's like everybody's and this one's so interesting because it's like everybody's lost and skinny and like doesn't have any food, and but this dude, like, he's coming down from the heavens, like holding answers, showing them like, yo, it's over here. So like I feel like Italy, like their art was, they were using everything was probably so bad there that they were using their art to like imagine a new world. For sure. Yeah, everything was definitely so bad there. It got to the point where it was like, what the hell are we doing with our lives? And it's funny because, look at her face. She's like, ah! Freddy died! The side hoe. Everyone's in agony, yeah. They're in agony. They don't know what the hell to do. They're waiting for someone to come down to save them. That is where the ideas of saviors came from. It is, because there were no saviors before. It was just fighting and it was just kings. There were no saviors before. And Italy imagined them through their art because it was so bad there. It was all prayer. See, it was so bad. You don't see this before. You see them kings and queens and they're all trying to find a way. That's so interesting. They're looking around like, where is it? And he's looking back. They're looking back like, are they following? And everyone's looking around like, I don't know. Yeah, and boom, there it is. Religion. Holy shit! Yo, I just cracked the code. And that's when religion starts. And that is the first fucking dragon I've seen in this book. It starts here. He literally has blood dripping out of his mouth. She's chained to it. Her arms are trees? What the fuck is that? More war. Imagine being a horseman. It's like carrying a burden. Carrying like her mom's burden or something. Oh, that's creepy. Yeah, they're like carrying around their burdens with them. They don't know like what to do with themselves. Everyone's just fucked up. See? He's just like messed up. Everyone's so lost. And yeah, and then there's always light from above. Or there in some photos. Wonder why. What's this? 3 Saint Sebastian. Lamentation over the dead Christ. Then portraits started going on. Salvador Mundi. The frontal image of Christ as Savior seen in a close-up view and placed before a fictitious parapet clearly derives from similar Netherlandish pictures. Antello modified as an iconic depiction by adding the gesture hand of Christ, skillfully foreshortened so that he appears to be about to speak to the beholder, having already riveted him or her with intense yet kind gaze. Yo, what? What? So that wasn't even like him. This is, yep, yep. That makes sense. And then churches. That's crazy. Yo, the homie. Wanna hear something funny? My Mimi's maiden name is Vinci, Vinci. And we all artists. But yeah. Leonardo da Vinci was the most imaginative and visionary artist of the Renaissance. Although he finished few works, he was the archetype Renaissance man, re-owned in his own lifetime and since as a painter, sculptor, draftsman, architect, engineer, inventor, and botanist. Flowers, plants. Yeah. Well. The illusion of high relief stems from the chiaroscuro technique with strongly contrasted light and dark shades. In the fiercely topical Renaissance debate, Leonardo placed painting before sculpture as the truest means of representing the natural world. In nearly 17 years at the Sforza court, he engaged in military and civil engineering projects and composed treatises on the human body and machines, the phenomena of light, shadow, and perspective, the movement of water horses, and the flight of birds. He worked out his ideas in drawings, hundreds of which survive, as opposed to some 15 paintings. Yeah, this man's pretty much created the whole world we live in today through his work. Because I just know that he did. Believe it or not. But yeah, I've seen this dude firsthand in Italy. I have a video of me like pretending to grab his nuts. His dick looks smaller in person, by the way. I shouldn't say stuff like that. Yeah, and then Italy started really emphasizing a higher plane of life that other art didn't. They started emphasizing like angels coming down, like they started emphasizing how bad life can be, like people just completely, they started showing truth, really. But they always believed in like royal, none of the royal, everyone that's royal looks pissed. The fall of man. The fall of man. It's now, yeah. Because it happened. Look at, what's he holding? His fucking mom's head? Yeah, Northern Renaissance. And then the Well of Moses. And then, yep, here it starts, Moses. That's when it starts. This is when it starts. Yep. Yep, the lamb. Adam and Eve. The altarpiece of the holy blood. Jesus Christ. Yeah, it gets dark here. I don't really want to move on with that, but that's insane. Okay, thanks for joining us with today's episode of Do Women Have to Be Naked to Get into the Met Museum? Less than 5% of the artists in the modern art sections are women, but 85% of the nudes are female. Science of the art world. Hold the F up. Your body is a battleground. Alright, we're gonna get into this in the next episode of Art with Sam. What is this called? Gorilla Girls. Do women have to be naked to get into Met? In 1985, the anonymous group of women called the Gorilla Girls declared themselves the conscience of the art world, drawing attention to its sexist and racist practices. Their tactics include satirical poster and billboard campaigns, exhibition of women artists, and public protests in which members picket art institutions while wearing gorilla masks, like your body is a battleground. 1989. Kruger's work criticized capitalism and the mass media depiction of women. Here, a fashion model's face, which pressures women to conform to its commercial idea, is subverted. The negative-positive juxtaposition creates a tension that echoes the slogan. This one is, you know when you go into church and you have that like water in the middle? I feel like it kind of looks like that, but it's a triangle. It says, characteristic of first generation feminism. Chicago's 1939 The Dinner Party says homage to women from different cultures throughout the ages, emphasizing the female body. The triangular table evoking an image of the great goddess by its reference to ancient depictions of the vulva, hosts place settings for 39 women from history and mythology, whose names are embroidered on placemats. Hold the fuck up. That's why there are lips there? Are you fucking okay? Are you fucking okay? Whose names are embroidered on the placemats. The names of 999 women are inscribed on the tile floor in the ceramic. So in there. Click on these. I'll leave it on that. The individualized ceramic floral forms of plates, often blooming several inches above the table, evoke labia in the vagina. Since the 1980s, a new generation of feminist artists have been skeptical of their